home. It's more than just a mortgage. It's love. It's security. It's home.
And my girl, you know what they say about Fruitsissimos, eh?
Partner, you know what they say about Fruitsissimos?
My girl, you know what they say about Fruitsissimos?
Boy, that Simos makes you score runs, you know.
So what do the experts say about Fruitsissimos? Apart from tasting great, Fruitsissimos is full of natural goodness your body needs. Simos is good for your skin, rich in vitamins and minerals, promotes and improves intimacy, boosts your immune system and lung function, suppresses appetite and increases weight loss, anti-inflammatory, and helps to improve blood count. Simos is rich in nutrients, which boosts your metabolism and increases energy levels, and is grown, harvested, and manufactured right here in the community of Prale.
And that's what they say about Fruitsissimos. Unless you say something else.
Fruitsissimos, you know what they say.
Always be sure you settle for more. Get up to 35% off Baker's fully comprehensive vehicle insurance and still cover a whole lot more. Enjoy higher discounts and better coverage for any kind of vehicle, car, SUV, or pickup with free loss of use, windscreen cover, and special perils. To sign up, call us at 458-5860 or log on to beacon.co.tt and settle for more today.
This is the Caribbean Sound. 101, number one.
Hello. Good afternoon and welcome to Lettre on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. I am your host, Miguel, aka Butu, and unfortunately, I was not here with us this afternoon, but I'm taking over the reins and hopefully I will be as entertaining as we have been over the years with Lettre. And we have a wonderful letter for you this afternoon. Can't wait to read it. But in the meantime, just reminding you that you can send your shout outs to 724-0008. That's 724-0008. Or you could, when you call in to contribute, you could call 452-3046. That's our landline. I want to take on some shout outs here this afternoon. Let's shout out people, and remember, send those shout outs to 724-0008. All right, I want to shout out people at Lucilec, Wasco, Lucilec, Wasco, Reno, are the guys on the road working right now, and all the banks on St. Lucia. We're talking about Bank of St. Lucia, First National Bank, Republic Bank. Which other banks am I missing? Republic Bank, First National Bank, Bank of St. Lucia. That's the banks I can figure out right now. And those of you who are listening on the buses, all big up all the bus drivers around the island, the Grosley bus drivers, the Grand Riviere bus stand, the Rock Hall, Pave, Maynard Hill bus stand, Fiefort, Soufre, all of you. And remember, this show is rated E for everyone. So we have a lot of young people listening right now. Big up all you bus drivers and you young people who are on your way from school, and of course the drivers who are transporting you right now. Remember, once again, we're gonna big up. Let's take in some of the Facebook Live comments. Big up Red Salad, and he said, Team RCI, what we saying? Hey, my brother Gripper Greg, big up the Letla. Shout out Anya Bernard. Good afternoon, Team RCI. Hey, you and your co-workers would like to wish your manager happy birthday. Please tell us, Anya, where you guys are shouting from. Hey, Fern, good afternoon. Your hussy is on. Good day, darling. Good day, honey boo. Good day, all. Yay, the best test program is on. Let's big up Team RCI, and we say, hey. You know, and I shout everybody, all those in the public service right now who have their radios tuned in to your number one station, Radio Caribbean International 101.1. And like I said, I was not here with us this afternoon, but, you know, I'm hoping that we can make it a real good one. All right, Greg, you always say you have it for me, but I said, Greg, you ain't give it to me yet. So come on, I waiting for the thing you have for me, man. Big up the boss, the booze. Good afternoon to you there on the Facebook Live. And we have Laquamingo in the house. Big up yourself, Morella. She says Team RCI, and we say, hey. All right, all right, all right. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I only see you here on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You may have to excuse the voice because I've been recovering from a bit of a flu. I may have done too much over the weekend, but my throat has been killing me. But I'll try my best to please you this afternoon. So big up yourselves in the house. I want to shout out the class of Monroe College Media Group, class of 2016. My classmates. I want to shout you out those Martin, Karen, Dale, Kwan, Kiba, Rihanni. Who else am I missing? If I missed anyone, oh, Keezy. Big up the class of 2016 Monroe Media class. Shout out Shakira Constantine there on the Facebook. Good afternoon to you. David Gideon, Team RCI. Hey! Edmonton, Canada, the boss. Big up yourself. All the way from Edmonton, Canada. And Shakira is bigging up Zahara, Kayla Smith, Gucci Slim, Dudu Darling Myro, all the regulars. Aaliyah, Joseph, Sushi, Sue, Daniel, Kenzie, Jabatis. Greg, you have it. You gotta bring it in the studio, man. Bring it in the studio. When I try and make you jealous, I always love you. I suggest that I have a lot of love to share. We want to shout out all those and of course our other radio stations on St. Lucia and television stations because I can tell you for sure, I know they're listening. They love the vibes here on Lettre. They really love it because I've got a few messages already saying that I heard you, but I can't tell you or reveal the places that these people work. Next thing their boss fires them. But it's good to know that you're always listening and that you have Lettre as one of your favorite stations here on St. Lucia. Well, your favorite programs here on St. Lucia. Now, folks, we have a really, really, really good story here for you this afternoon. I looked at it and I was like, wow. When that letter came in, I was like, damn, this might catch your attention. Or maybe not because you're like a lot of Roro, but that is Roro, but it's not man and woman Roro. So I can't wait to read that one. But Marion, you can send your shout outs to 724-0008. Big up Vivian Armstrong. She says Team RCI, and we say, hey! Dudu Darling Myro, you're finally reaching the chat. The bestest program is on Let Lab. Big up Migs, Rankin, and Liza. Shout out to you, my darling. But I'll tell you something. I'm alone by myself. I'm going to be redundant to show you how alone I am today. I'm alone by myself. Iowa abandoned me, Liza abandoned me, and Maureen abandoned me too. So I'll be on my own. So you know what happened? I just have to wing it. Good afternoon. Oh, good afternoon to my cousin Sadia. Delise Eli Box. It's always great hearing from you. Finally, I know you're listening. I know you're a regular viewer, a regular listener and viewer. Of course, we're on the Facebook Live. You can check us out on Facebook as well as on the official page of Radio Caribbean International. And we're also on WhatsApp. You can send your request here at 724-0008. And reminding you again, when you call to make your contributions, it's 724-0008. I want to pick up all the beach vendors right now. Those on VG Beach, Mary, Eugenie, Wendy, by Miss Riti, oh Lord, Petra. Good afternoon to you guys on VG Beach, entertaining the tourists and locals alike. I know all the staff at all the departments at the airport. They're always there having their lunch, either playing dominoes, take a little break, and some of them sneaking at. Oh, I shouldn't say that loud. I shouldn't say that on the radio, but. Big up all of you here, there, and of course at Pigeon Island, all the beach bars and laybys around the island. I know I big up some of the bus terminals, but did I forget the Choiseul bus drivers and all those little routes from V4 to Auger? I know some of you guys are listening. And my darling Kayla Smith, Team RCI, say hey, all the way on the East Coast. Bless up, my darling. Bless up, bless up. Hey, La Voix des Peuples. That means the voice of the people. Mixie, I'm waiting to hear you read Lettre. You waiting to hear me read or you waiting to hear the letter? Shout out family, Erin, Shalmine. I can't forget Jackie. Jackie, I cannot forget you. That's true. You're right, Erin. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Jackie, good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in this afternoon. We have a little ways to go before I read that letter. A bigger letter. Shout out to David Gideon, who wants to shout out Raw and the rest of the staff at Andrea's Lab. Oh, shout out the hotel, Sandals, all the sandals on St. Lucia. And of course, Coconut Bay, Cocoa Palm, Cap Maison, all the hotels on the West Coast. We have those at not Jalousie. It is oh my, the names. You know when you're getting old, some of the names you remember the old names, and you forget the new ones. But not Cotton Bay, Sugar Beach, and all the other hotels on St. Lucia. Mina, I was not there this afternoon. He's out for a little bit for a few weeks. He has some obligations that he has to obligate. But shout out to you, Delia to bless. Come get your shout out. David Gideon again. Shout out to Raw and Andre's Lab. And what is it? Andre's Lab. Andre's Lab. Team RCI. Big up. Love a girl, love a girl. Great hearing from you. Great hearing from you. She says Team RCI, and we say, hey. Big up Cap Maison staff again. Hey, Tim, what's up, my brother? Locked in. It's good to hear you and the staff at Cap Maison locked in. Y'all let me know when I come in for that lunch, you know. I need to come for a little lunch on the house and those kind of things. But good afternoon to you and the rest of the staff at Cap Maison, Tim. Thanks for joining us as usual. Auntie Irene, I send you love. I hope that my doodoo was for me. I'm writing you folks, shout out at 724-0008. And you could join our live broadcast on the official page of Radio Caribbean International on Facebook. And reminding you that Lettre is brought to you by Fruitsy Sea Moss. And if you're going to have that sea moss, you better have some insurance, because Beacon Insurance is right there at your side as well. You know, folks, I was saying that it was a long weekend for me. I want to shout out my girl, my girl Keisha Chanel, aka Keisha Francis, who celebrated her birthday on Sunday. And I went to her house on Friday night, and she had the baddest birthday vibe I had in a while. I've been to in a while. And the very next day we were on the beach at Pigeon Point getting it good. So shout out my girl Chanel, shout out Shirley, shout you out my girl, and of course my girl Nats, I can't forget you, and their husbands. But you know what happened? Forget the husbands. Let me tell you, that's the best time I've had in a while, living with women or with them girls. They are the best fans. So shout out Shirley, Chanel, and Nads, and of course Miss Brain. All right. So of course, the letter again, I'll give a little hint as to what today's letter is about. It's a man and woman business, but it's a man and man business. It's man and man business. And they have lawyer and all kind of thing in that. Nadia, I'm sorry, but I was not here today. Gucci Slim in there yet? Gucci Slim ain't reached on the live yet. I want to big up the Do Shot crew, Evergreen. Big up. Shout out to you, always locked in. And the Do Shot crew. The Do Shot crew. Boy, that name does have me thinking of a kind of things, but you know what? I'll leave it there. Nadia, I'm sorry, but you stuck with me this afternoon. You stuck with me. You know, remind you folks again that Lettre is brought to you by Beacon Insurance and Fruitsy Sea Moss. For that refreshing drink, you need to grab yourself a Fruitsy, but don't drink too much. Don't drink too much, because you might just need some insurance, or somebody else might need some insurance. Wait, the show is rated E. I wish I was there to keep me in control. But we're going to have our ads in a bit, pay some bills, and then we're pretty soon going to start with our Lettre program for this afternoon. All right, Irene Sharma is sending some sincere condolences to the family of Sheldon Eugene and Joan Hinkson. Yes. Oh, Joan Hinkson. Oh my. Passed away. Hey, big up my brother, 1 pound Hippolyte, Team RCI. He says, hey, McCarthy Charles, big up the National Farmer Staff and Department of Housing who are locked in. Shout out to the Department of Housing, another department of government who I know is locked in. Shout out Alina Tobier, Laniqua Baptiste. Hey, Tara Esba. Shout out Sanyu. Yes, I'm doing Lettre. Shout out Tasha Love. Zara, good afternoon to you. Sanyu, good afternoon. I hope I'm the honey boo. Blackman Okulian boy, people looking for you. Both 1 pound and Nadia Thompson Dilly's looking out for you. Shout out. Looks like we have a voice note. Let's hear what this voice note has to say.
Yeah, lock in there, man. Big up.
Let's say that again.
Yeah, lock in there, man. Big up, you know. Sherman and Lover Girl. Yeah, man. Big up. I'm waiting for this juice, man. I said the juice is too slow.
I too slow, but gas a 340 reach yet. 340 reach yet, my brother. But we're going to take in some of them ads and then we're going to get back to the letter. We might start a little early today. One thing. Y'all coming late with the shout outs, eh? All right. So, guys, where's Stephanie? Stephanie, I ain't seen you on the live. I ain't seen you on the live yet. You're late. And of course, our girl. I cannot forget Drama Queen. The one and only Drama Queen. Drama Queen, where you, Gasa? Where you up? And you get a toilet break yet to run and call it to go on the live? Shout out my friend Jude Pokes Harlow, Kendra Bellas, Sugar Dindis William, Mandy Noel Peter, Lennon, big up Lennon Eugene, you waiting on that letter. And of course, my partner Duad, but your wife sending you enough love. She wanna big up her husband Aldrich Richardson, aka Duad. And also while I there, let me shout out, apart from Duad, all the boys of BFTF, Basketball for the Future. That is the club in the Gardens. You know, shout out to guys like Ron, Buffer, Sawyer, Batman, Kenny, Porky. Well, Duad, I shout you out already. Kendra say now we calling about Kendra. You're supposed to have your alarm on an afternoon, waiting on a Wednesday afternoon. You know Lettre coming. You can't wait for people to call you. Unless you're too busy like giving the baddest pizza, you're making the baddest pizza on St. Lucia. Let me tell you, Kendra, that's the best pizza. I ain't gonna mention your name yet, because you only pay for advertising. But I will tell you, that is the baddest pizza I ever eat. Big up Philip Philo. All right. I think we're going to head into the ads in just about 2 minutes. So you have about 2 minutes to enter your shout outs right there on our WhatsApp platform, 724-0008. Or you can come onto our Facebook Live, the official page of Radio Caribbean International. I want to shout out the staff at Nemo, the director, Kenisha is but all the staff I work with, Fabian, Miss Bruce Jr., Horace, Job, Paito. Those I forget. All those I may have forgotten, but y'all know I have a lot of love for you guys. Kendra said she thought it was Tuesday, Kendra probably show you on. Hey, Kelvin, big up my friend. Big up. He says Team RCI, and we say, hey, Hartford, Connecticut, locked in. Locked in. Marie Gloria Kid, good afternoon, my darling. I am doing fine. I'm wonderful. I'm fighting a flu, as you may or may not tell, but I'm trying to keep the voice in check right now. So just bear with me. Bear with me for the next few hours, the next hour and a half, while I try to have this thing locked. Big up Team RCI. Hey, love and appreciate all of you. Blessed from Sandy Sandra. Good afternoon, my darling. Big up Gideon Fave, aka not Fade. Fave, sorry. Big up Gideon Fede, aka Giddy. Giddy, big up, nice brother. Giddy, perfect positive love from Sandy. Sandy, positive love to you, my darling, as well. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you. And good afternoon to all those listening who may not send them shout outs, but I know you listen nonetheless, and you can't wait for that letter. Trust me, that letter coming. It coming. And when you'll hear it, you might say that you've been there before, or you know somebody who is there or has been there.
Always be sure you settle for more. Get up to 35% off Baker's fully comprehensive vehicle insurance and still cover a whole lot more. Enjoy higher discounts and better coverage for any kind of vehicle, car, SUV, or pickup, with free loss of use, windscreen cover, and special perils. To sign up, call us at 458-5860 or log on to beacon.co.tt and settle for more today.
And my girl, you know what they say about Fruitsissimo, eh?
Partner, you know what they say about Fruitsissimo?
My girl, you know what they say about Fruitsissimo?
Boy, that Simos makes you score runs,
So what do the experts say about Fruitsissimo? Apart from tasting great, Fruitsissimo is full of natural goodness your body needs. Simos is good for your skin, rich in vitamins and minerals, promotes and improves intimacy, boosts your immune system and lung function, suppresses appetite and increases weight loss, anti-inflammatory, and helps to improve blood count. Simos is rich in nutrients, which boosts your metabolism and increases energy levels, and is grown, harvested, and manufactured right here in the community of Prale.
And that's what they say about Fruitsissimo. Unless you say something else.
Fruitsissimo, you know what they say.
All right. We're getting ready for our letter. But we have a few more shout outs to go. Before we get into that letter. Shout out, my darling. Share more Sherry. Team RCI, we say hey. And we have some shout outs there on the WhatsApp platform. Let's hear some of them.
You have the flu, boy. When you go home, take some gin and lime and salt, my brother. Yeah, man. Take some gin and lime and salt, I just hope that the voice can make you feel good later.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Big up you.
Team RCI, I hope the letter is hot today, because since last year I stopped listening because I find last year the letter was boring. So I hope it's hot so the villa, working at the villa, get you ready to leave. So yeah.
All right, big up you, my darling. Hey, big up you. And you know what happened? I think the letter will be hot enough. Like I said earlier, there are people who may have an experience or know someone who may have had an experience with a situation like that. So, let's get into that letter. All right. Okay. So, I tell you already, I don't have the energy I will have, but I gonna try read it to make sure y'all understand what is going on there. It says, Dear Rankin and Miggs, I need all you to tell me if I being unreasonable because right now I see in red. You ever hear people say family is the worst set of people? Well, I never used to believe that until my own flesh and blood tried to rob me of what's rightfully mine. My father passed away a few months ago, and since then, my big brother turned into a straight up vulture. You see, daddy had a piece of land with a little house on it. Nothing fancy, but it was ours. And since he didn't leave a will, the land's supposed to be shared between me and my brother. But guess what? This man moved like he alone is the heir to the throne. From the time daddy closed his eyes, this man moving fast, fast. He changed the locks on the house. Eh? Start walking around like he owned the place. And even tell people he don't want outsiders coming around. But tell me something. How the hell am I an outsider? I'm my father child too. And Migs, let me make it clear. When it was time to bury my father, the man didn't have a cent to put. He stand up in the funeral home with his hands in his pocket, waiting for me to figure out everything. I had to scrape money from left to right and center. Oh, wait. From left, right, and center. Beg family, borrow from friends, just to make sure my father had a proper send-off. And now, after I go through all that stress, this man want to turn around and thief me out of what's mine? And Rankin, let me tell you something. This is not just about land. This is about legacy. My father was a hardworking farmer, breaking his back for years, planting bananas, tomatoes, dashing yams, everything you could think of. That man wake up before the sun, go in the field, work till his hands blister just to make sure we had food on the table. That land is sweat and sacrifice. And now this greedy brother of mine feel he can just claim it like he alone is my father child? And makes me not even full brothers. Now, well, I don't subscribe to them full and half sibling thing, but let go. And makes me not even full brothers. We have different mothers, but both our mothers passed away when we were young. So it was just the two of us and daddy. You would think that alone would make him want to be fair, but no. Big man decide he deserved everything. And me, I might just roll over and let him take it. I try to talk to him. I say, let's let's split properly. We both have equal rights to it. And you know what this man tell me? Go and buy your own land. Like, sorry. Let's split it. Go and buy your own land. Like it's not my own father that sweat and build that land. Build on that land. Now people telling me, take a lawyer, go to court, fight for your share. But who paying for lawyer? Not me, because I can't afford one. The man know that too, and I feel that's why he getting so bold. He know I don't have the money to fight him legally. So he feel he can just pressure me until I give up. But I not backing down so easy. I don't care if we stop talking. I don't care if we turn enemies. I refuse to let my own brother thief me out of my own inheritance. So tell me, Rankin Miggs, what would you do if you was me? Fight for what's mine? Or let him have it just to avoid war? Blood or not, right is right. Folks, that was the letter. I'll read it again a little later, but then I hope you heard and you listened, and you could call 724-0008 or 452-3046 with your contribution. Remind you again, once again, that Lettre is brought to you by Fruitsy Simos and Beacon Insurance. And from my part, I read that there, boy. And for me, I'm one person, and I'll speak about an experience that I had recently. Not recent, well, recently. You know, those of you who are a little older, as you get older, you start seeing mortality, and you start seeing people around you passing away as you start advancing in age and thing. And one time my father say, boy, it's best he start writing his will. After I called him to tell my friend of his died, I tell him, yeah, sir, let me tell you something. I don't care what you leave. I'm not going to go and fight for anything that I didn't work for and that wasn't mine. So when it comes to those things, you hear a lot about it, about all this thing about people fighting for land and they go in court, siblings fighting for this and that kind of thing. Marida, sir. Marida, sir. That is one fight I don't want to get into and stuff. But then, at the end of the day, your siblings are all you have. You say you'll have no parents again. No parents. Your father die, both your mothers die, and you're going to fight for land. Jamais. Remind you folks, 724-0008 and 4523046. You could call in for your contributions. Somebody say, boy, it's a matter for court die for let lie. Well, hopefully maybe a lawyer or somebody can advise and tell him what to do. I seen some of the comments here on the Facebook Live. Let me check some of them out. Someone say, borrow from friends. I guess that's in response to the funeral and paying for the funeral expenses. Borrow from friends. You and your brother, and now and then you want to come and play a role. Once the boy, Shakira said the boy couldn't wait for daddy to die. A brother killed. They can't see that. They can't see that, my friend. Don't say that. Brother killed daddy. Someone say, hope his name not starting. I not with a G. All the time, daddy alive, y'all not there. But as he die, y'all want to fight for land. Fight for everything. Everything. And Shakira says, just for a peace of mind, you let somebody have it. That's one thing. That is one thing I tell you all I ain't gonna fight for. But then again, you can have your contributions, send your contributions apart from the WhatsApp and the live. Said that letter, someone on the WhatsApp says that letter sounds exactly like what my husband and his sister by father are going through. I think she changed. You sure? He said, let me read this. That letter sounds exactly like what my husband and his sister by father are going through. I think she changed up the letter, but I'm pretty sure it's that little dangerous girl. Well, you know what happened? Give us a call and tell us what the whole thing is about, what you think about this situation. Because you hear this thing happening, this whole thing about fighting for land all the time, and people fighting for land, and the father or mother leave, they die, and then they leave no will, and people on all over try and fight for them kind of things. But one thing, the same as people always say, when you die, that all that thing staying there, the same way it stayed there after your parents die. Who you leaving it for? For what? Someone says, Amanda, big up to Amanda. Some siblings not there to help, but as soon as mommy or daddy die, they front and center wanting to fight for things that don't belong to them. I know it's not only siblings. They have cousins and uncles and siblings of those that die that are willing to fight for for these things. They want to put out their own mother and father and that kind of land. But then I want to know what y'all think about what the brother is doing. I mean, in the absence of a will or nothing, the two of y'all there together, your mother's die, your father is all you have. And from the letter, I guess there's no other how do you call that? A beneficiary, to that will. I don't hear any chance, no mention of auntie or no other sisters and things. Only the two of them that they have. I wonder what you think about people actually hating each other at the end of the day, siblings hating each other over that over that land. So the person says, Miguel, I think I will take up your whole show with that one. I think call, my darling, call. Tell us about your sister and what you think about this situation and whether you believe that is the same situation. Because at the end of the day, that is more common than you think. That is more common than you think. 1 pound says, my dad has 5 kids. I'm the only one was staying with him until he died. Now my brother that wasn't even dealing with my dad wants to fight for the house. Ah, Boy, that is something. That is something. But let's take a little word from our sponsors, and we'll get back with your calls and messages in a bit.
Always be sure you settle for more. Get up to 35% off Baker's fully comprehensive vehicle insurance and still cover a whole lot more. Enjoy higher discounts and better coverage for any kind of vehicle, car, SUV, or pickup with free loss of use, windscreen cover, and special perils. To sign up, call us at 458-5860 or log on to beacon.co.tt and settle for more today.
And my girl, you know what they say about Fruitissimo, eh?
Partner, you know what they say about Fruitissimo?
My girl, you know what they say about Fruitissimo?
Boy, that Simos makes you score runs, you know.
So what do the experts say about Fruitissimo? Apart from tasting great, Fruitissimo is full of natural goodness your body needs. Simos is good for your skin, rich in vitamins and minerals, promotes and improves intimacy, boosts your immune system and lung function, suppresses appetite and increases weight loss, anti-inflammatory, and helps to improve blood count. Simos is rich in nutrients, which boosts your metabolism and increases energy levels, and is grown, harvested, and manufactured right here in the community of Brale.
And that's what they say about Fruitissimo. Unless you say something else.
Fruitissimo, you know what they say.
All right. Got two messages again from two people who were late and they said to read a letter again. So I'm just gonna read one more time so that they grasp that letter because all right. All right. Just reading this letter one more time. We got two requests that they came in late. So I'll probably just read this one more time so we get an idea of what we're dealing with. Oh, we have a call. Before we do that, let's get into this call. Good afternoon, Lettre.
Good afternoon, Timalfi.
Hey!
I'm a first time caller.
First time. Big up. Where you calling from?
Babuno.
Hey, big up. Shout out to you. Talk to me.
Thank you. Yeah, I just walked in and I heard you reading the letter. So my advice to the young lady, because I've been through that a few years ago, and the most valuable thing I did for myself was to walk away.
You've been through that.
Yeah.
Tell me some more. It's a young man, eh? It's two brothers.
Okay, so it was my cousin and myself.
Mm-hmm.
Our grandmother had two boys. One was my father and one is her father. And my father passed away, so my grandmother raised the three of us. But my brother passed away, so it was just the two of us. And my grandmother, they had some property.
Mm-hmm.
And what was coming for me, because my grandmother, she had a stroke, and then everybody thought, well, maybe she was going to die for the first stroke, so she had a will. That was when everybody knew that she had a will. Mm-hmm. So the lawyer came, they read the will, but I was not at home the time, I was at work. So when I came home from work, I heard about that. So the second time the stroke took her, but then what happened was my cousin, when the lawyer came, when she realized that the house where she was living in, and that piece of property, my name was on it. But then she was renting it from my grandmother at some point. But then at the end of it, she stopped paying rent and everything. She was living there. And then she called the lawyer. My grandmother could not read and write, but then she knew what she was doing, you know. So, and then she had a lot more than what I got, you know, what was coming for me. And then what she did was she went to the lawyer. And then, I mean, she had to do it in the presence of my grandmother, but then she told my grandmother, well, okay, since she's in the house, she's going to do this and whatever, because my grandmother had a nephew of mine, she raised my brother's son. And so she told my grandmother, well, she's going to take care of the boy because he was not 100% all that day. He can do, not that he can do anything by himself, but you have to cook for him, make sure he bathe and everything, so and stuff like that. And then she told my grandmother, well, she will take care of the boy. She passed away, don't worry. She will take care of the boy and then give her what was coming for me, you know? So my grandmother did that. And then after I got to know that my grandmother called a neighbor and she told the lady she did something and she regret what she did, but she cannot undo it. So it's then the lady telling me what transpired. I was like, okay. And what I did was I started looking for somewhere because I was living in the house, my grandmother, that's where we were raised and everything. I started looking for somewhere. When I got a house to rent, I took my 3 girls I had, 2 girls. I took my children and I left. Okay? But let me tell you something. I hated that girl to the very core. You understand? I hated her for what she did. And then when I spoke to people, they said, what? It's just because of jealousy? I was like, jealous of what? What do I have to be jealous of me for? But the thing is that she did not want to leave the house because if she had lived the will as is, which is my name on it, so she would have to leave the house for me. You understand? And she did not want to do that. And whereas it was easy for you to do because you get so much property more than me, all you had to do was to sell a piece of property, build a house, and move yourself in there. You understand? So I just left it alone. Up to a day like today, it's 20 something years. I never utter one word to her and tell her anything. I mean, as a believer now, I learn to forgive and forget, you know, but then I ain't hate her no more, but then I have nothing to do with her. If I see her, when I see her, hello, hi, how are you? And that's it. You know, I have no conversation, no talk running with her.
So, caller, you say as a believer now. So before that, you would do something.
Hey, my brother, let me tell you something now. As a believer, I still had a lot of mind. And you know that they say the mind is the battlefield of the enemy. And let me tell you, I had a lot was going on in there. A lot. When I tell you a lot, and that a lot, it was the hatred building up, and that was like a cancer. I reached at a point that as a believer, I couldn't even pray nor read my Bible. Because so much hatred inside of them, that ain't lining with God at all, you know, until I forgave her. I went down on my knees at my home. I was reading a book, and then it's about Unforgiveness Unlimited. When I read that book, I forgave that girl. And that was how I was able to free myself from that situation.
All right. So
Yeah.
your advice to this person, call. I mean, let's just say this person may not be a believer who would subscribe to the biblical principles and Christian principles. How would you advise that person, that guy, sorry, I said woman, guy, to deal with this situation right now with his brother?
Oh, it's 2 brothers.
It's 2 brothers, and the father left. The father died without a will and left the land, and the big brother is acting like everything is his. He changed the locks and everything. I was actually about to read the story again, but then go ahead. Yeah.
Yes. If the two of them were living in the house with the father, I mean, come on, is your brother. He's your younger brother. You was living there together. You understand? And it's just the 2 of you. Why you want to put him out? Why? That don't make sense. He's your younger brother. He was living in the house. When your father passed away, he was living in the house. You bury your father. You didn't even put a dime. He had to borrow money and do everything to make sure that your father had a proper send out. You understand? So, hello, that day, we staying in the house. It's just the 2 of us. If you want to have your girlfriend, you have your girlfriend. She can come and go, whatever you all want to do. But I mean, the 2 of you in the house, come to an understanding. You know, if you decide, well, you have your girlfriend and she's going to come there, or he have his girlfriend and she will come and live in the house. You come to an understanding. If your brother, you come, you know, hey, Jack, you know something. they're with Mary now, as you know, and then she going to come and live here with me. So I have to tell you about it and whatnot, because you're not sharing the same bedroom. You understand? So if Mary, they Mary in your room, your brother in his room, you're doing your thing. I don't see why he have to change the locks on the house and do all that with his brother. And he's your younger brother, and it's just the two of you your father had.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's why the need for all that without having a civil discussion. Anything else you want to add?
Eh, no, just the bigger brother. Come on, make sense out of the whole situation. Come to your senses and deal nicely with your younger brother. Your younger brother, sorry, it pays off. Because as family, siblings, it ain't pain to be living at loggerhead with each other like that.
What's your view on what he said? What's your view on what he said about the? He not what he said, but he just mentioned it that they're not full brothers. As someone like me, I said my father, I don't have any half siblings, and my father's always maintained that you don't have half siblings. All you have are siblings.
Exactly.
Do you think this may be one of the reasons as he's maybe harboring some sort of hatred or that kind of thing to his brother?
But it's not your father's fault. It's not that your brother's fault that your father had him with one lady and have you with another lady. It's not your brother's fault. So both of you all share the same father. Your mother not there. Your mother dead. She's gone. You all have the same father. Come on, older brother. Come to your senses and deal nicely with your younger brother. That's my take on
Agree,
this.
madam. Thank you very much for your
Yes.
call.
You're
First
welcome.
time caller from Barbono, folks.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right.
All right.
All right. Bye bye. All right, folks. Remind you once again, it's 724-0008, 724-0008, or 452-3046. You can call to contribute and give your take on what the letter I just read there a while ago, which I may read again soon, because even this contributor said she walked in on the letter. But let's take in some of the contribution on the Facebook Live. Irene says it's always the one who never cared or contributed financially that the ones fighting for possessions, even to the point of physical harm. Amanda says just so he can tell people he have land. Don't mind him. Don't mind him. So tell you that's a serious thing. I mean, I can't begin to fathom why siblings and relatives who want to fight for land, for land and hey, hey, hey. Sorry, I got distracted by a message. The person says this first caller has just given her own letter on air. I thought she was supposed to give advice to the writer, but she did give the advice. She did give the advice. But it's always good to hear other people's experiences because, like I said earlier, that and I'm sure a letter like this, there are people who can relate. They would have had situations either exactly like it or similar to it, or have some maybe even a minor similarity to what's going on, so they can relate to what is happening. Zara says older brother see can't build a house, so he looking for an easy way out. um you have to wonder sometimes again what goes through people's minds when they try to backstab and fight down and hate each other over those kinds of things. You all share the same blood, for crying out loud, whether it be the same mother or the same father. I mean, your relatives nonetheless. I think what belongs to your parent naturally should belong to you. I did, after seeing this letter, I did reach out to a lawyer friend to see what this to sort of advise as to what we can tell, um give this person advice we can't give this person. But it looks like we have some contributions on the WhatsApp live. Let's hear what on the WhatsApp. Let's hear it.
So that situation there, that lady need to legal. So that situation there, that lady need to take her brother to court. So if you bury him, you do everything. So why are you fighting for the land? So take him to court and see what you could get from what the court say. You will get your piece of share or give him his share or whatever. But anyway, when you die, you're not going with none of them things. So it's staying right there. So you get that in family. Family wasn't there. They want to come and claim. If you have a piece of money, they want to come and claim, so it don't make no sense. Just take the man to court. As a farmer, he should have money somewhere saved up to get for his burial or whatever, since he was a farmer. So he must have money somewhere. But anyway, I guess not, since all that will break out. If he was a farmer, like the daughter said, both mother died, he and the guys have siblings. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. This world, everybody is selfish, greedy, everybody for themselves. Nobody care about one another. So since I guess since COVID, everybody's just plain selfish. So what again? Call. So I don't have credit. So I send in a voice. So to play my voice.
You say since COVID people get selfish. You think, I don't know if you think so, but in the meantime, we're going to take in. We're going to take in some ads, and then we're going to read a letter when I get back. Remind you once again that Lettre is brought to you by Beacon Insurance, Beacon Motor Insurance, and of course, Fruitsy Sea Moss Drink.
Always be sure you settle for more. Get up to 35% off Beacon's fully comprehensive vehicle insurance and still cover a whole lot more. Enjoy higher discounts and better coverage for any kind of vehicle, car, SUV, or pickup with free loss of use, windscreen cover, and special perils. To sign up, call us at 458-5860 or log on to beacon.co.tt and settle for more today.
And my girl, you know what they say about Fruitsy Moss, eh?
Partner, you know what they say about Fruitsy Moss?
My girl, you know what they say about Fruitsy Moss?
Boy, that Moss makes you score runs, you know.
So what do the experts say about Fruitsy Moss? Apart from tasting great, Fruitsy Moss is full of natural goodness your body needs. Sea moss is good for your skin, rich in vitamins and minerals, promotes and improves intimacy, boosts your immune system and lung function, suppresses appetite and increases weight loss, anti-inflammatory, and helps to improve blood count. Sea moss is rich in nutrients, which boosts your metabolism and increases energy levels, and is grown, harvested, and manufactured right here in the community of Prale.
And that's what they say about Fruitsy Sea Moss. Unless you say something else.
Fruitsy Sea Moss, you know what they say.
St. Lucia, a paradise where inspiration meets innovation, where football meets the world. We celebrate the sport that unites us all, football. On March 15th, St. Lucia welcomes the global football community. Over 200 VIPs, leaders, and legends united for the 40th annual CONCACAF Congress. An unforgettable series of events, from conferences to celebrity games. This is a movement, a revolution in the name of football. CONCACAF Congress 2025, inspired by the love for the game, united by our vision.
March Madness is here at Automotive Arts. Get ready to stand out because we're giving you up to 25% off car accessories. Want to roll in style? Get up to 35% off all rims. Don't miss our spectacular buy 3, get 1 free on selected tire models. Plus, swing by for even more in-store promotions, including a jaw-dropping 50% off selected items, BOGOs, and other doorbusters that'll blow your mind.
Unleash your property potential and earn big with the Solution Workers Credit Union's Airbnb loan. Enhance, expand, earn big. Ready to turn your short-term rental property into a lucrative income source? Look no further. Upgrade decor, furniture, tile, or even construct a new masterpiece. All made possible with the Airbnb loan. Visit any of our 3 branches, but that's not all. Apply for a Visa card and access your loan with unparalleled ease. The Airbnb loan, your ultimate partner for short-term rental excellence. The Solution Workers Credit Union, not for profit, not for charity, but for service.
I'm feeling for something special, something tasty, something smooth. When I think about all the flavors I can savor, I gotta have Baron's ice cream.
I wanna have, I need to have a flavor that makes me glad. But the way I feel, it must be Farron's Ferrand's ice cream, chocolate coated ice cream bars, creamsicles I gotta have. Give me some factory yogurt I need.
Ferrand's ice cream.
Ferrand's ice cream.
It's so delicious. Ferrand's ice cream.
Ferrand's
tastes so good. Ferrand's ice cream. Oh, I gotta have it. That's only the best will do.
Ferrand's ice cream, bringing back delicious memories.
All right, and we're back with Lettre on this Wednesday afternoon, as we are with you every Wednesday here on RCI, Radio Caribbean International. And I'm about to read this last letter again because a few of you came in late and did not catch the letter. So here we go. Dear Rankin and Miggs, I need you all to tell me if I'm being unreasonable, because right now I see in red. You ever hear people say family is the worst set of people? Well, I never used to believe that until my own flesh and blood tried to rob me of what's rightfully mine. My father passed away a few months ago, and since then, my big brother turned into a straight up vulture. You see, Daddy had a piece of land with a little house on it. Nothing fancy, but it was ours. And since he didn't leave a will, that's the problem there, you know. The land's supposed to be shared between me and my brother. But guess what? This man moved like he alone is the heir to the throne. From the time Daddy closed his eyes, this man moving fast. He changed the locks on the house, start walking around like he owned the place, and even tell people he don't want outsiders coming around. But tell me something, how the hell I is an outsider? I is my father child too. And let me make it clear. When it was time to bury my father, the man didn't have a cent to put. He stand up in the funeral home with his hands in his pocket, waiting for me to figure out everything. I had to scrape money from left, right, and center, begging family, borrowing from friends, just to make sure my father had a proper send-off. And now, after I go through all that stress, this man wants to turn around and thief me out of what's mine? And Rankin, let me tell you something. This is not just about land, you know. This is about legacy. My father was a hardworking farmer, breaking his back for years, planting bananas, tomatoes, dashing yams before the sun. Everything you could think of. The man wake up before the sun, go in the field, work till his hands blister, just to make sure we had food on the table. The land is sweat and sacrifice. And now this greedy brother of mine feel he can just claim it like he alone is my father child. And Migs, we're not even full brothers, eh? I disagree with that. We have different mothers, but both our mothers passed away when we were young. So it was just the two of us and Daddy. You would think that alone would make him want to be fair. But no. Big man decided he deserved everything. And me, I just roll over and let him take it. I try to talk to him. I say, look, let's split it properly. We both have equal rights to it. You know what this man tell me? Go and buy your own land. Like it's not my own father that sweat and build on the land. Now people telling me take a lawyer, go to court, fight for your share. But who paying for a lawyer? Not me, because I can't afford one. The man know that too. And I feel that's why he getting so bold. He know I don't have money to fight him legally. So he feel he can just pressure me until I give up. But I not backing down so easy. I don't care if we stop talking. I don't care if we turn enemies. I refuse to let my brother thief me out of my own inheritance. So tell me, Rankin Butu, what would you do if you was me? Fight for what's mine or let him have it just to avoid a war. Blood or not, right is right. All right, folks, this was your letter read for a second time. I hope those of you who were late can grasp the concept. You'll know what the letter is about. And we're going to take in your contributions now. We're going on the WhatsApp live, and we do have a voice note. Let's hear what it says.
My voice note was kind of way blurry, but like I said, if the man was a farmer, you should be part of the credit union. You should have had some money saved up somewhere just for that, just in case if he passed away. Because I telling my sister that if something happened to my grandma, we should put something there for help burying her when the time comes. Don't we have to run around and ask people for money and things like that? Because that's not a good look. And I think we're starting that this year, God willing, so we don't have that problem. Because it's just us that taking care of my grandmother, my uncle, her son is not there in the picture, so you don't really know if he's not dead or alive. So you have those family friction in families. So yeah.
All right, caller, thank you. It's interesting. Everyone is saying just let it be for your peace of mind. I would tend to go that way as well. But I'm sure there are others who may want that person, that guy, to fight it. Yeah, someone says, Miguel, as per the law, they are both entitled to the property, whether it's half brother. The fact is, they are both children of either parent, whether it be the mother or father's side. They need to visit a lawyer to administer the estate, whereby they each will be given their share. And I don't think the writer has a problem with that. Like he said, the man time go to a lawyer. you know, if he could have afforded it, that he would have gone to the lawyer and actually gotten things done, or even at least gotten the legal advice. So I'm getting the feeling that he cannot afford to go the letter. Now, you know, people, I don't even know how to put it, but having in my previous lives, in my previous working areas of fields of endeavor, I have seen this. I have seen and I heard it, whether it be in the media or whether I was working at the bank at that time. And people tend to figure that outside of the law, that for them to inherit something from their parents, that the order of your birth plays some sort of significance into the size of your share, or even whether you get a share or not, which is nonsense, obviously. But people tend to think, and it's not only in land, but in other things. And I'm the eldest, saying I'm the eldest, so I deserve this and I deserve that and that kind of thing, and they want to call the shots. Um, I'm the eldest of all my parents' children, my father's, my mother's, my stepmother's. I'm the eldest of all this. and I've never tried to portray this because I am the eldest. I am owed this and deserve this. But you see that everyday situations, because I've seen and heard many people complain about these things. And to reiterate, when you go down 6 feet under, where that going? All the land and everything still there. It cannot fit in your 6 foot grave. You know, as someone says, you can fight for your rights without war, because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. Let brotherly love reign. Um, Again, someone said again, for the peace of mind. If the younger brother has the land papers, seek a lawyer. If you don't, just let it be. And it'd be nice to hear some proper legal views on those things. Um, Migs, I have a friend because Migs, I have a friend who is going through something similar. See, their father passed away and left property for them, but what the younger brother did was claim 3 spots for himself instead of the one the father left him. It's just agreed. Um, it's just greed. Sorry, not agreed. Greed. Same thing. Father passed away, left property for them by the younger brother. But then these things should not be able to happen if you if there's a process. So, and the law states this and the law states that. So I don't. It should not be easy for someone to just acquire your land like illegally or unethically and through that process, when the law, whether it be wills to you or the laws on succession and the willing states that who states clearly who's supposed to get what and a thing. So someone says there's something called karma for peace of mind, leave it for him. But if he can get a pro bono lawyer, fight for him. I don't know if the human rights lawyers will work. And now the funny thing about it is we getting calls all the time, all the time, all the time. But because that man and woman business, that man and woman stress, y'all try and play thing about someone say that's not a letter for Lettre, that's for the courts. Well, we have to take everything. We have to take everything because we have to show the world that it's not only man and woman problems we have. We have man and land problems too. But I think where succession goes in terms of those things, whether you have two siblings, I think what's taken into account as well is the deceased, whether they have siblings as well, whether their mother is alive, whether their immediate siblings are alive. And I think they are also entitled to a share of that property. So we don't even know whether in this case that they have any other next of kin alive, any other people like uncles, aunts, grandmother, grandfather. They did say that the mother is gone. So I'm not sure how that will work out. But I'm still trying to wrap my head about the concept about people fighting each other for land. And you hear about it all the time. Someone says that brother is selfish, mate. Never had something to say. It's mine. Like he was waiting for his father to die. For God's sake, it's your brother or your sister, but it's brother. Time it will finish him. Let's check out the Facebook here. We have some more comments from the Facebook. Go and work for his own instead of fighting with his younger brother for material things. Let me tell you. This is crazy. We had a call, and I think we may have just missed that call. Feel free to call back again. Visit a lawyer. Any lawyers on the live, any lawyers in listening right now, send us a message. Send us a message and let us know what is the correct thing to do. Because I'm seeing lots of wows and can't believe this out there. Nobody can go with house, lands, nothing. When you die, you go in with your belly. So let them fight for material things. Remind you folks once again, you can get on to the contribution. You can contribute. You can join the discussion on our WhatsApp, 724-0008, 724-0008, or you can join the Facebook Live, or you can call our landline at 452-3046. We're here at Lettre. Right now, we're just looking at some messages here from our contributors. And someone is asking what's the letter about. Someone's asking what's the letter about today. I read it twice. But it's about essentially two brothers. Their dad died. Next of kin would be them. And the older brother has taken over the house and land like it's his. Are we taking some comments there? Lennon says, reality, some families fight for these kinds of things, house and land, but the funny thing about it, when they die, they go with nothing. Dust we come, dust we return. And that seems to be the general sentiment there. And I think, I mean, it's common sense. It's common sense. You can't bring any of these things into the grave with you. But you know, the writer also said about legacy, because apparently the father owned some land, some agricultural land and everything. So I guess they're looking at continuing, with their fathers, with whatever the father had. But you know, that's sort of hard to do when you have a brother who's trying to take over everything as it is. And you know, does he have kids? That's the next thing. Who gets it? Someone says most cases, the ones that contribute to the family when they are sick, they are quick to inherit. This brother is just selfish, greedy, and when such bad behavior happens, the house ends up spoiling and they can't even stay in. A word to you, wicked, and that's in caps, to wicked brother. The land you walk on is the same land that will be your shelter tomorrow. Some strong words. That's some strong words, caller. You know, like I keep saying, it's just not worth it. It is just not worth it. Another caller who says the older brother can get it but can't maintain it sometimes. Another one says to the younger brother, leave him, let him have it. He will not enjoy it. If you want to carry on your dad's work, include your brother as well. So in other words, he's saying that if you want to carry on the farming that your dad did, you know, just bring your brother in as well. I think that's a good idea. I mean, family business is how it should be. This is with the two of y'all. Remind you folks once again that Lettre is brought to you by Fruitsy Seamoss and Beacon Insurance. And you can send your contribution a call 724-0008 or get onto our Facebook Live on the official page of Radio Caribbean International. And you can call the landline 452-3046. This is Lettre.
girl, you know what they say about Fruitsissimo, eh?
Partner, you know what they say about Fruitsissimo?
My girl, you know what they say about Fruitsissimo?
Boy, that Simos makes you score runs, you know.
So what do the experts say about Fruitsissimo? Apart from tasting great, Fruitsissimo is full of natural goodness your body needs. CMOS is good for your skin, rich in vitamins and minerals, promotes and improves intimacy, boosts your immune system and lung function, suppresses appetite and increases weight loss, anti-inflammatory, and helps to improve blood count. CMOS is rich in nutrients, which boosts your metabolism and increases energy levels, and is grown, harvested, and manufactured right here in the community of Prale.
And that's what they say about Fruitsissimo. Unless you say something else.
Fruitsissimo, you know what they say.
Up your game with SMJ Beverages.
Purchase any classic ginger ale, turbo, or buster
at all Massey stores and participating outlets island-wide.
And get a chance to win.
Third prize, a smartwatch valued at $250. Second prize, an Amazon tablet valued at $800.
And first prize,
a PS5 valued at $2,000.
Promotion runs from February 17th to April 15th, 2025.
Approved by the National Lotteries Authority of St. Lucia.
SMJ Beverages,
distributed by Lumnat Distributors Limited.
Getting brand new quality tires and rims for your vehicles have never been so easy. Tire Zone in the blue building next to the VG roundabout sells tires for motorcycles for as low as $180. What? But that's not all. Tire Zone also stocks tires for all types of vehicles, including 13-inch for as low as $99, 14-inch starting from $150, 15-inch starting at $185, 16-inch for as low as $195, and 17-inch starting from only $200. Why buy used tires when you can get quality brand new tires for such low prices at Tire Zone? Visit us in the blue building next to the VG roundabout or call 452-1313, 486-4459 or 724-5996. Again, 452-1313, 486-4459 or 724-5996. Email us at tirezone.slu@gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Tire Zone.
Welcome back to Lettre. I am your host, Miguel Favre, and you know what? Someone just messaged to say a while ago. The same thing I said, there are no man and woman business in that, and people are interested. Wait until they get land. Wait until they get land and they have to fight for it. We'll see how much they into that. All right. So remind you folks once again, Aled Lies brought to you by Beacon Insurance and Fruitsissimo. And the letter today is a bit out of the ordinary, I should say. It's not about who cheated on who had a child on the outside. It's actually about two people, siblings, quote unquote, fighting for land. And essentially what the writer is saying is that he and his older brother, the dad died a few months ago, and both their mothers, they don't share the same mother. Both their mothers died, and the dad left no will. So the big brother now is acting like he's the owner of the place, has locked, essentially, he's changed the locks, and he's told the neighbors that no strangers, no outsiders should be, no outsiders should be there. And that outsiders, as the writer presumes, are he's one of them. So at this point, the man is saying that he covered all the father's funeral expenses, whether he had to beg, steal, or borrow, to use that term loosely. And the other brother did nothing, yet that brother is acting like everything is his. And we did have some callers say that, well, one or two people say that they have been to that situation as well, and the advice being dished out to that gentleman is to just leave it alone. But we also had some who said, give him the house, but make sure he gets in on the business. And then we have someone says, if he wants the house, let him have it. As for the house, I don't think he should get him involved at all because he already shows the kind of person he is. And someone says, "Don't get me involved in the business," and everything. And I'm again, these kind of things still baffle me. Why people end up fighting for land every time I hear it. Every time you hear it. Every time you hear it. But my advice to that individual would be to see if you can get a lawyer pro bono, whether it be a human rights lawyer. I mean, Mary Francis is there, or somebody who can at least advise you as to the steps that you should take, because I don't think there's anyone here who believes that, unless there's a will, that the property, the assets are just automatically passed down to the first child, or that kind of thing. That's ridiculous. If you have 10 children, unless your will, you cut any of those out of your will, or unless your will specifically states who should get what, I think they each entitled to their equal portion of uh whatever the assets and the property are. I remind you folks again, you could call 724-0008 or 452-3046. That's our landline to get in on the conversation here at Lettre. Uh check in some of the Facebook live comments. Seem to have a network error here. No, the WhatsApp comments either. And we have a call coming in. Good afternoon, Letla. How can I help
Yes,
you?
good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I saw the guy the brother that claim everything. I saw he never even changed one pamper or give his father a glass of water. Why people always fight for property, but they never fight to take care of their parents?
That's a good question.
I mean, if the brother pay up all the funeral expenses, at least give the boy the house or give the boy, bring him along in the business. You cannot just take everything for yourself, like, agulu go fal. The boy should leave everything for him. If he keep fighting for it, leave it for him, because he will not enjoy it. And God do like ugly. He will get exactly what he deserves.
Yeah, you do you find that it's a too common occurrence here? This whole thing about fighting for land and people trying to take over.
Let me tell you something that always happen, because I my family in a situation, but it wasn't that my mom died and they were fighting for land. Somebody robbed my mother out of her land, and it was so-called family, Christian family, this kind of evildoers, so-called family. Because my mom was an alcoholic, and her niece took that opportunity to do what she do. So leave them. All those that want to fight for land, I hope when they die, they have a big space in the coffin or in the cemetery to take all what they're fighting for.
So what do you think is the motivation though behind the whole seeking to acquire land and trying to rip off your own family or exclude them from the whole process?
But sometimes they want everything for the children. They don't want to see your kids or the other siblings, children have nothing. Greed that has caused these things.
Boy, I don't know. Do you picture yourself being actually acting that way with one of your siblings?
No.
So
If they have one piece of land and all of us could build on it like roaches in a bag, let's all build on it like roaches in a bag.
She's in a bag. I like that too. Okay, so advice. Any advice for that writer, and I'm sure maybe even the brother is listening right now. You never know
Well,
someone who knows the brother.
the writer should look for a lawyer. Do not confront his brother. Next thing, his brother end up killing him for land. You know, some people get ignorant already when you see they already grab what they grab. So he should go through a lawyer and seek advice from a lawyer. But when he talking to the lawyer, ask the lawyer that if he could ask the brother to at least share the property equal with him, at least give him the house or give him a spot, give him something, but don't take everything.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Thanks for that. Any final words? Any words you want to add to that?
No, well, people just have to realize fighting for property or um, abusing one another for land or for house, it makes no sense because at the end of the day, you're not going with it. Not even your children, you do it for going with it. All of us living it there and we going because clean we come, clean we go.
Yeah, you're right. You're very, very right about it. Okay, well, thank you very much for your contribution, caller.
You're welcome.
All
Bye.
right. All right, and shout out to Kelvin Charles on the Facebook Live, and he says, Kelvin says that reminds me of the Cain and Abel story. It looked like the father had liked the youngest brother, and who knows if the father was saying everything was for the youngest brother, and that is true. That is true. You sometimes you get people involved in those things saying, but guess a daddy said or mommy said that thing was going to be mine, that was going to be mine, that was for me, they had told me that and everything. But the reality is, unless there is any legal document that formally wills or passes on ownership of that property to you, or unless through the natural laws of succession, the laws of natural succession and stuff, that you would be a beneficiary, your father, your mother saying, "Oh, promising that thing is yours," has no bearing. That's not really a verbal agreement. That can hold up in court when, in terms of the property is concerned, passing of a property is concerned. But I think most of our viewers, our listeners, all tend to agree that this is greed on the brother's part. I think that's simple and straightforward enough. But I just have to go back to it again. I may sound like a broken record, but it's just beyond me to see why siblings don't want to fight each other for that. And it's interesting what the caller said. She mentioned that people don't want to see even their siblings' children. They want it for their children, but they don't want their siblings' children to get any of the spoils or to enjoy it or have a future moving forward, as they themselves want to be the ones to have more of a prosperous future. I remind you folks once again, before we take our next break, that Lettre is brought to you by Beacon Insurance and, of course, Fruitsy CMOS. You can contribute by calling our WhatsApp line or texting our WhatsApp line as well, 724-0008. And you can call a landline at 452-3046. Maybe I was wrong when I said this would be a hot letter today, man. Everybody's man, woman thing you want to hear. So y'all hear a bit of land. Y'all hear a bit of land and y'all run away from all the roar. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. But the one thing I can say though, that there's always legal recourse for these things, and the law prescribes what should be done in situations as such. So to the writer, I don't think that you should despair. I think that you should try. Try to go see a lawyer, if get the little money somewhere for at least a 15-minute or half-hour consultation, so you get a clear a clear idea of where to go forward with this situation. But left up to me, I would have just left that. And like some of our callers said, I would have just left this whole thing. And if your brother wants to be where he is, unless it's something that is really you really need and is vital to your life and your existence, and your progression as a person, then go ahead, get to a lawyer. But personally, I wouldn't fight any of that. Just let him be. Let him be.
And my girl, you know what they say about Fruitsissimo, eh?
Partner, you know what they say about Fruitsissimo?
My girl, you know what they say about Fruitsissimo?
Boy, that Simos makes you score runs, you know.
So what do the experts say about Fruitsissimo? Apart from tasting great, Fruitsissimo is full of natural goodness your body needs. CMOS is good for your skin, rich in vitamins and minerals, promotes and improves intimacy, boosts your immune system and lung function, suppresses appetite and increases weight loss, anti-inflammatory, and helps to improve blood count. CMOS is rich in nutrients, which boosts your metabolism and increases energy levels, and is grown, harvested, and manufactured right here in the community of Prale.
And that's what they say about Fruitsissimo. Unless you say something else.
Fruitsissimo, you know what they say.
Always be sure you settle for more. Get up to 35% off Baker's fully comprehensive vehicle insurance and still cover a whole lot more. Enjoy higher discounts and better coverage for any kind of vehicle, car, SUV, or pickup with free loss of use, windscreen cover, and special perils. To sign up, call us at 458-5860 or log on to beacon.co.tt and settle for more today.
All right, we're back. Uh, Shout out to you, Irene. She says it's true, Migs. I don't see why siblings or family fight for land when they all die and leave it here. She says revolutions like Zafir Moon. I mean, of course, we have to cater to the rural part of us, right, darling? But yeah, maybe we were wrong when we saw the letter. We thought it would be an interesting one, get more engagement. But some people like to have man-woman business. So maybe if it was a matter of the fellas fighting with each other, woman and the woman want to share too, and they involved, and maybe we get more. But then just to reiterate as well that those of you who are going through that situation, because this situation will not be unique to only one person. Like I said, this is something that you hear about all the time, where siblings, whether it be siblings, whether it be relatives, let's just put it, relatives, family members, um, dying and scrambling over property that belongs to a relative who may have passed and everything, and then you find the law gets involved. You have court cases that drag on for years and years and years. And you come to think of it, is it even worth with all the heartache going through court, all the stress going through court, all the money you have to spend to pay a lawyer, and money you have to spend to file this and that within the court? Is it really worth it? To some it may be, because some people may have their plans already and what they want to do with this piece of property, and why they want to build a home, or they want to secure the future for their children. But at the end of the day, The law is the law. The law prescribes what happens to property, to any property following the death, upon the death of the owner or the proprietor of that property. Um, Remind you again, sorry folks, we're in our final 15, less than 20 minutes, our final 15 minutes. You can call or send a message to 724-0008. You can join our Facebook Live conversation on the official page of Radio Caribbean International, and you can dial the landline at 452-3046. I'm going to read that letter one more time. We just got a message here saying to read it one more time. So can you bear with us 1 second while we read this letter? All right. Okay. It says, Dear Ranking and Migs, I need you to tell me if I am being unreasonable because right now I see in red. You ever hear people say family is the worst set of people? Well, I never used to believe that until my own flesh and blood tried to rob me of what's rightfully mine. My father passed away a few months ago, and since then, my big brother turned into a straight up vulture. You see, Daddy has a piece of land with a little house on it. Nothing fancy, but it was ours. And since he didn't leave a will, the land's supposed to be shared between me and my brother. But guess what? This man moved like he alone is the heir to the throne. From the time Daddy closed his eyes, this man moving fast. He changed the locks on the house, start walking around the town, walking around like he owned the place, and even tell people he don't want outsiders coming around. But tell me something. How the hell is I a outsider? I is my father child too. And Migs, let me make it clear. When it was time to bury my father, that man didn't have a cent to put. He stand up in the funeral home with his hands in his pocket, waiting for me to figure out everything. I had to scrape money from left, right, and center, beg family, borrow from friends, just to make sure that my father had a proper send-off. And now, after I go through all that stress, this man wants to turn around and thief me out of what's mine. And Rankin, let me tell you something. This is not just about land. This is about legacy. My father was a hardworking farmer, breaking his back for years, planting bananas, tomatoes, dashing yams, everything you could think of. The man wake up before the sun, go in the field, work till his hands blister, just to make sure we had food on the table. That land is sweat and sacrifice. And now this greedy brother of mine feel he can just claim it like he alone is my father child. And makes even if we're not full brothers, we have different mothers, but both our mothers passed away when we were young. So it was just the two of us and Daddy. You would think that alone would make him want to be fair, but no. Big man decide he deserve everything. And me? I just roll over and let him take it. I try to talk to him, I say, look, let's split it properly. We both have equal rights to it. You know what this man tell me? Go and buy your own land. Like it's not my own father that sweat and build on that land. Now people telling me, take a lawyer, go to court, fight for your share. But who paying for a lawyer? Not me, because I can't afford one. The man know that too. And I feel that's why he getting so bold. He know I don't have money to fight him legally. So he feel he can just pressure me until I give up. But I'm not backing down so easy. I don't care if we stop talking. I don't care if we turn enemies. I refuse to let my own brother thief me out of my own inheritance. So tell me, what you would do if you were me? Fight for what's mine? Or let him have it just to avoid a war? As we into the final 15 minutes of the program, again, reminding you once again, you can dial 4523046. That's the line, or 7240008. That is our WhatsApp line, or you could send a message to that line, or you could join us in the discussion on Facebook. But let me hear what you think. Let me hear what you think. Let me hear. I hear people that I ask who call. I ask, would you even do that? Would you see yourself fighting? And they say no. They say no. But then I think in our back of our mind, some of us may say no. But then when we really look at what's in stake for us and everything, if some of us will see a little loophole to try and acquire more, and they would do it. So I don't even trust fully when everybody said they will not do it, they will not fight with their sibling, because that's the publicly and the morally correct thing to say. But I think we all have a stroke of greediness and of greed, sorry, in us. Troy Conibut says fight. We are condoning violence here, my brother. Unless we fighting for the courts, we're not condoning violence here in RCI at all. If you fight for a lawyer, yeah. But that'll be the worst thing. And I think just recently this year we had, excuse me, excuse the throat, folks, more than one situation where brothers killed each other. Oh, sorry, siblings either killed or seriously harmed the other. I don't think that's anywhere we should be going, especially in our familial relationships. Checking out the Facebook Live. Oh, sorry. Checking out the Facebook Live. Pray about it, younger bro. That's advice. Pray about it, younger bro. God can move mountains. He can help you. Las Gume Pute. This bro is very greedy. Sad what we fight for everything. Sad that we fight for everything except to die. Well, everybody wants to go to heaven. Our touch say, but nobody wants to die. Fighting is draining. It takes too much. I must say that, okay, we have a message that says, I must say that the half sibling thing plays a role. I think when siblings share different mothers, especially the closeness, is sort of strained, and that contributes to that sort of behavior. You may or may not be right, contributor. Let me tell you something. If you permit me to say, my dad has, I think, seven of us on record. I'll say I use the term on record just, as a journalist, I want to be as accurate as possible. So I'll say on record. And I don't share the same both parents with any. Wow. If come to think of it, if any of my siblings, I don't share both parents with any of my siblings, whether it be my mother or my father's children. And my father has always been one to have his children around him. He wants them with him. So there's nothing about half sibling. You have different mothers and that kind of thing. You all know each other. You all grew up together. You are you. That's what it is. You are my blood. You are my seed, and that kind of thing. And I think that same applied. My grandmother, my father's mom, my paternal grandmother, had three or four sets of children. And I don't think anybody, not I don't think, I know I grew up, none of them saw each other as any half sibling of that sort. You ask one, as my brother, my sister, they all grew up in the same house. So I suppose this whole half sibling thing and how they approach it may be a bit of, should I say, for lack of a better term, outside influence, and how society has treated those things. This whole thing about legitimate and illegitimate child nonsense that has been born through our courts and our systems. We have another contributor who said, yeah, she said, I know what you're about to say. It all depends on how you were raised. And that's exactly what I said. Another contributor says, guys, seek legal assistance from legal aid and get what is rightfully yours. Some siblings are too greedy and unreasonable. Yeah, you're right about that. Maybe legal aid, excuse me, legal aid or a cheaper, sorry, no, I said cheaper. I was a bit distracted there. Legal aid may be a less less intense on your pockets. Let's say easier on your pockets. Seeking legal aid. But at the end of the day, why should it even come to this? Why should it come to this? This is a question, Why should it come to this? What's this whole thing about greed? It was never yours in the first place. It was your parents. You didn't work hard for it. Your father worked hard to get what he had. Sorry, to acquire what he had. Um, to acquire what he had. You didn't work a day or work an ounce for it, and you just want to claim it at the expense of your relationship with your brother. And you never know, as things have been going, maybe at your brother's life, because you never know what disagreements they might have one day over that same property thing, and one ends up seriously harming or taking the other's life. And when you look, invariably you ask the question at the end of the day, was it all worth it? Was it worth killing my brother, over a piece of land that's going to be there when we're gone? We have someone says we need to be brothers and sisters, Sidvan, and sisters no matter what. And that is the truth. You need to be brothers and sisters no matter what. There is no half sibling, no half stepping, no half stepping. Even step, I in many cases I know people who are very close to their step siblings, and they consider each other brother and sister, and they would lay down their lives for each other. So this, and they're not even blood related, you know. So this whole thing about fighting for land, especially, it is not worth it. It is not worth it. Folks, we're on the final few minutes of the show. I remind you once again, you can dial 724-70008 or 4523046, our landline for contribution. We have just about 6 to 7 minutes to go with today's Lettre. And I know it didn't have the excitement y'all wanted, and Iowa wasn't there to come with his little JUMMET thing. Well, yeah, you know that voice, you know that laugh already. I will have, and let me say hey there. Let me say hey there. But I think I'm glad this letter came in though, because I think it was pertinent. And those of you who may not be speaking or contributing, but those of you may know someone who has gone through that situation, or maybe going through that situation yourself. And I hope that this serves as at least some sort of motivation for you to go ahead and do the right thing, and those of you who are not doing the right thing, to stop doing the wrong thing. Vern, you said some parents cause so much drama in the home. I'm not sure if you're talking about the whole thing about favoritism as well, where some parents clearly show that one child may or may not be their favorite, or they may have a particular preference towards that child. I don't think it's prudent. That some parents have actually said it, that that's my favorite child. It's prudent to say that, because we know all the spillover, the spin-off effects from these things, what jealousy can bring among siblings. But it's just like if you run a company, or you're government or something, you need to ensure everybody needs to get an equal piece of the pie. And parents, at the end of the day, of course we do have our favorites, because there are some children may tug at our heartstrings. They may like certain qualities, certain character traits about them. But then this whole thing about showing favoritism, as you said, Vern, you're right. It may be the catalyst for the breakdown in the familial relationships, and might very well be the reason for this. Someone said that it might be jealousy on the older one's part. I read earlier, that maybe the younger sibling, so the older sibling may have felt that the younger sibling was too loved and treated differently from him by the father, and this may be his turn to try to take what he believes is rightfully his. I mean, for all the neglect and all the quote unquote favoritism which may have been meted out to his brother. And as we close, I just want to shout out some of our people on the live. We didn't get to shout them out earlier. My darling Hermina Mendez. Hermina, good afternoon to you all the way in Martinique. I see our friend brought you here. Nigella, good afternoon to you, my darling. Junior Clary says, some of us don't fight, we move on. And I think that's a message to that's been echoed by half, because half of us have said, take it to the courts if you really feel that strongly. and the other said it's not worth having to fight and that kind of thing. Um, Lennon Eugene, big up to you, my brother. He says, not every time is a drama. Sometimes we have to talk about serious and important topics as well. And I agree. Um, I agree. But, you know, this, again, I will continue saying this topic is very, very important as far as I see it. I'm glad that this person took, first of all, that they had the bravery to write to Lettre, because I'm sure there is someone out there who may know of your situation. So you're risking, people knowing what your situation is, and you braved it. You wrote to us, and I hope that any advice that has been um, issued on Lettre, whether it be from myself or our viewers and listeners, that it is able to help you, my brother, in your situation. Just want to shout out some other people on the live before we close. I think it was Troy Conibert. I saw Kelvin Charles. Big up yourself, my brother. Um, Amanda Charles, Sim, Team RCI. Hey, how could I have missed that? And yeah, I think that's it. We have no more messages on the WhatsApp platform, so I think this will be maybe where we end Lettre for today. Reminding you that Lettre is brought to you by Beacon Insurance and Fruitsy CMOS. And of course, I am your host, Miguel Favre, aka Putu, aka Migs. And I will be here with you tomorrow for Youth Unplugged from 3 p.m. And make sure you don't miss this, because my guest is someone who, just the name of her business kind of, it turns my taste buds on. So you can't afford to miss tomorrow's edition of Youth Unplugged, brought to you by Youth Economy Agency. But for now, this is me saying goodbye, and as Jerry Springer would say, take care of yourself and each other. This has been Lettre.